So in 2011, I started Le Pants King in the Traveling Spectacular, where I pulled a miniature house down the road via tricycle, and I would sell my vintage clothes and trinkets out of that. Through my success with the Traveling Spectacular, we had had a lot of positive response from the Boston community, and a lot of people were hoping that we would open up a brick and mortar shop, and that's when Vivant Vintage came to fruition. I'm Justin Pomerleau. I'm the founding member of Vivant Vintage and the Traveling Spectacular, and the soon-to-come Oliver Best Vintage Market in Allston, Massachusetts. Vintage markets seem like a good economical way to source eclectic pieces and also utilize recycling clothes and objects that already exist in the world, as opposed to like the fast fashion culture. We can provide an amenity or an outlet for the community for both fashion that is affordable, stylish, and one of a kind, as well as we offer in-house tailoring services, alterations, repairs, leather conditioning, leather repair. I think that there needs to be a place that you can find almost anything that you've been looking for from any century. Both at Vivant Vintage and in Oliver Best, you will be able to find the finest selection in vintage t-shirts, everything from Grateful Dead to Meatloaf to Stevie Nicks. We also are big fans of the oddities. We love antlers, we love taxidermy, we love anything weird and old is kind of right up our alley. But one of our biggest passions is footwear. We are big advocates of the vintage boots and vintage shoes. We're huge fans of the Roper boot. This is the Justin Roper boot in red. This is one of our favorite styles. We are one of the only vintage stores in Boston that has a full stock of Roper boots at any time. We also stock handmade pieces by a local designer that only uses vintage textiles. These pieces are by Emmy Ember. Her brand's called Counter Couture. One of our biggest selections at Vivant Vintage is our leather selection. We stock between 50 and 100 leather jackets at any time. Especially in season, we have between 100 and 150, I would say. We also stock a lot of Victorian clothing that we mostly sell to collectors and kind of individual buyers. Not many of the public kind of source this. This is a 1940s silk dress. Like almost mint condition. It's pretty amazing. So I'm pulling from our personal collection of pieces that we're kind of holding on to for the time being, but this is called a Hoppy Glop, and this is a piece that was worn at the original Woodstock in 1969. Hoppy Glop was a leather company that was located in that area that when Woodstock came around, they sold out. We want to provide an outlet for any type of fashion in the Allston area to any person that falls into any niche, and anything from the collegiate to the punk rock to the vintage enthusiast to the person who's never ever worn a piece of vintage clothing before. We want to provide a comfortable setting for them to find exactly what they need to be the person that they want to be.